Morning! Hope you're doing really well. Today I'm breaking down what I eat before, during and after rides. Good nutrition helps me complete those long rides, nail intense workouts, and crucially it really helps me recover as quickly as I can. Seems crazy to put so much effort into training and neglect what I'm eating. It's such an important part of it. That being said, I do take quite a relaxed approach to this. And I spread my nutrition sort of goals throughout the week. So obviously you might see me doing ultra cycling races where I'm living on giant packets of crisps and bags of sweets. I don't eat like that all the time, and it's fine to eat like that for a short period of time as long as I make sure that I'm getting my nutrition from other days of the week, other parts of my diet. Okay, got some weird snacks that I thought were crisps that aren't crisps. Next, a load of Gatorade. So despite what lots of people seem to think, and I don't know where they've got this idea from, I'm not vegan. I'm pescatarian, so obviously I eat fish, but I also eat dairy and whatnot, but I don't eat meat. So my reasons for that are just a love of animals, and yes, I should extend that to fish, but currently I don't. Having said that, if I was stuck in the middle of the Kenyan plains and there's nothing to eat at all except something containing meat like a samosa, I would just eat it. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's get down to the nitty-gritty of what I eat to fuel my cycling and more recently, my running. So before a ride, I normally eat a balanced meal 1 or 2 hours before. That's so that I have long enough to digest it. And I focus on something that's going to give me slow release energy, lots of carbs, a bit of protein, and also some healthy fats. So a standard thing for me to go for would be porridge made with some sort of plant milk, just because I like it, and then some nut butter, normally almond butter, and some fruit. If I have just porridge on its own, then I find it's not really sustaining. You need to add in the fats and protein for it to really work for you, in my opinion. So that would be my go-to breakfast before a race, before training, or before the school run. If it's a really big day, I'm ultra cycling, or it's a long ride or something, I might also have some eggs. Because it just ticks off a few more of my nutritional goals and keeps me kind of satisfied for longer. That being said, I always make sure that I don't overeat before a big ride. So, these are sort of normal sized portions, not super sized portions. For rides up to about 90 minutes, normally just water is enough. I only add electrolytes if I'm doing something really intense or I'm riding somewhere really, really hot, or I feel like I have become a little bit dehydrated. For longer rides, I spread my nutrition throughout the ride and I start eating within about 45 minutes of starting the ride. That's to make sure that I'm constantly kind of topping up my carb reserves. Essentially, your body can only store or utilize a certain amount of carbs per hour. So that's why you need to eat little and often, because if you just stuff an absolute load of carbs in there, it's going to go to waste and it could cause some sort of gastrointestinal distress. So little and often is a lot better. I have access to lots of sports nutrition and it's really easy and convenient for me to grab a bar or some gels or some gel blocks and stuff like that and shove them in my pocket. They are expensive, so when I haven't got those, then I normally make myself some white bread sandwiches. That could be with nut butter inside or jam. This is like a quick release carb that's easy to eat, and the reason I go for white bread is because it's easier to digest. I'll take bananas, I make my own trail mix, and in the trail mix, I put all sorts of nice stuff, and I have been known to just pour it into my mouth in the middle of an ultra cycling race, which the kids think must be such a big, big treat. But you need the calories and the energy, so in my trail mix, I'll put something like Skittles, dried fruit, some nuts, mini pretzels. So it's kind of a mixture of sweet and salty, because during a long ride you might find that you get sort of what's it called, is it taste fatigue, and that you don't really want to eat any more sweet stuff because of energy bars and that sort of thing. So it's nice to have some salty stuff mixed in there. Another thing that's pretty good if you're ultra cycling, less good if you're just going out on a training ride, I guess, is ready salted crisps and I would crush the bag up. As I mentioned at the start of the video, I do eat differently on ultra cycling races and bike packing events than I do on normal training rides. So I wonder if it might be worth making a separate video for that. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in, and I'll try and keep this focus more on just sort of regular cycling. So how much to eat per hour? Well, it kind of depends on the intensity of the exercise and also on how well trained your gut is to digest and absorb food. So it's worth experimenting with this ahead of any races. For a long time, people thought that you could only take on and use about 50 or 60 grams of carbs an hour, depending on your body weight. But actually now people think that you can take on a lot more if it comes from more than one carb source. That's why you see things described as dual source or dual carb, because you're getting the carbs from glucose and fructose, and it's believed that the body can digest carbs from these two different fuel sources at the same time, leading to an increase in the amount that you can take on per hour. After a ride, the focus has to be on recovery and replenishing anything you've lost. The better that you eat after a ride, the quicker you will recover. If you're just riding back to your own house, you don't need to have special sports products. You can just eat normal food. I only really use protein powders when I'm not at home, because I can transport a little sachet with me really easily in my bag. If I'm at home, I just make some food. The idea is not to get back from a long training ride absolutely starving. If you've done your nutrition right, then you should just feel relatively normal, but you still need to eat something when you get in. A really good one, which is really nice, is chocolate milk, because it's got carbs and protein and it hydrates you as well. Or you could have yogurt with granola. Or I like having, actually, lots of people think this is really disgusting, but I like having tinned sardines on toast. People are like, ugh. Eggs are good, you know, chuck in some spinach and some wholemeal toast. I would probably move back to whole foods after the ride, whereas during the ride, as I mentioned, I will have white bread sandwiches. So that is my simple nutrition for long rides. What do you eat before, during and after your rides? What do you think of my sardines on toast? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe for more cycling tips.